Call the school board meeting to order of September 3rd. Joel, will you take a roll call?
Dick?
Here.
Jar?
Here.
Nobody's absent. Myself on here, and Jim? Present.
Proof of notice?
As listed in the agenda.
Approval of the agenda.
So moved.
Motion by Joel, second by Jim. Any questions on the agenda? Joe?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye. Motion carried 4-0-2. Citizens' comments. Resolution 192038, approval of minutes of the previous meeting, which would have been on the August 5th meeting.
So moved.
Motion by Joel, seconded by Dick. Any questions on the minutes? Joe?
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Aye. Motion carried 4-0-2. Any communications, Joe?
I have no communications.
Okay. Jim, are you ready for a treasury report?
Yes, I am. Treasurer's report, this is for the August 19th meeting because we didn't have this meeting did not occur. Okay. As balance for Monday night, August 19th. Total expenditures for all funds for July of 2019 were $1,398,485.08. Our investment in the state investment pool as of July 31st, our general fund is $1,057,270.20. Interest earned is $2,790.34. Debt service account has a balance of 14 cents. Our non-refundable debt account has a balance of $1,281.88. Interest earned of $2.59. The total investment, government investment pool, $1,058,552.22. Our Teresa State Bank account, general account, $299,797.14. Interest earned of $1,064.04. Money market general has a balance of $11,113. Interest earned of $21.20. Money market fund 46 trust, $1,232.66, earned interest of $235. For a total investment, Teresa State Bank, $312,142.80. Our total cash investments is $1,370,695.02. And then the page below is our balance in our debt, our referendum account.
Okay, we have resolution 192039, approval of treasurer's report.
So moved.
Motion by Joel. Second by
Awesome.
Jim. Any questions on the treasurer's report? Joe?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye. Motion carried 4-0-2. Resolution 1920-40, approval of regular semi-monthly bills. Need a motion?
So moved.
Motion by Dick, second by Jim. Questions on the bills? Hearing none. Dick?
Aye.
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 Motion carried 4-0-2. Resolution 1920-41, approval of per diem. Need a motion?
So moved.
by Jim, seconded by
Dick,
Dick. Changes on the per diem. Tatiana is off right now.
and you can take CISA meeting off for me.
Okay.
And I think the ones that showed up for the 15th should be paid,
That's fine.
you know,
Oh,
because you took the time to get here.
it's no big deal. I don't need,
What's your feeling on it? I figured you were here,
yeah, sorry.
is
You
beautiful.
You and Tatiana?
It was just, yeah, just Tatiana and me.
Well, that was all then?
We called Jim to
Oh, okay.
cancel. Well, I think we did crazy.
Okay.
Any other changes? Jim?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carried 4-0-2. Okay. Let's move down to administrative report. There's Ryan needs to give us a report.
Let me jump up a little bit.
Yeah.
Son started 4K today, so it's literally his first day of school ever.
Oh.
Outside of the little 3K stuff he had last year. So I gave you a printout of the exact same report. Scott has a link to it also. It's a similar report to what I gave twice earlier this year. It actually encompasses the entire 2018-2019 fiscal year. We'll look at it in two forms. One is comparing the budget to actual and kind of the budget format, which is by function code, and then look at it by object code, which breaks it down into a bigger grouping. There's a lot of verbiage on there. I won't read all of it, but there will be chunks where I'll literally just read it word for word. So the situation for the year was the 2018-19 school year and fiscal year is now complete. All payrolls and expenses have been recorded. Our audit was completed in the first week of August, and we are confident that all year-end entries are done and that the numbers being presented are final, with the net result of a surplus of $2,220. It's a very positive outcome considering the budget was set for a fund balance use, or a net deficit of $124,961. The district expended 99.84% of its general operating budget, which is about $20,000 less than we budgeted for. That includes the transfer to cover Fund 27 expenses. In the 17-18 fiscal year, the district expended 101.78% of its budget. So while some of our expense accounts were over budget, which were mostly due to adding needed staff after the budget adoption, we do have some savings in other accounts as well as some revenue surpluses that made up that set deficit and then the additional hires. So we set a budget of around up minus 124,000. We did hire people throughout the year just based on need, so that budget was actually trending to be worse before these savings. I'll just go over some of the bigger areas we've saved on. Health insurance premiums, we saved $20,000 there thanks to the change in carriers. It's mostly that HSA payment related, because teacher payrolls, we experienced those savings on premiums on their July and August checks. And those savings were to be given back to them through HSA payments, but the way the HSA payments are structured, it's only done quarterly. So they received the first one in July, which is in the 18-19 fiscal year. The other three are gonna end up going next year. So even though we saved on premiums, because that HSA, we actually, it's a zero budget change, but because of how the fiscal years flip, we did end up having savings in actual premiums in 18-19. We were down on budgeted legal fees by $11,000. It's a somewhat difficult thing to budget for, just depending on the legal needs of the district.
We strive to keep
Open enrollment out savings, we had $9,000 less in open enrollment out expenses. I have a note there that literally can change day to day. A kid that's here tomorrow could leave tomorrow, and it's all going to be prorated. We had unemployment cost savings of $5,000. We do throw a little bit of money in there in case something happens where we end up having to pay unemployment. We did not have any unemployed people in Fund 10 or Fund 27 this year. Our Fund 10 to Fund 27 transfer, we actually had to use $40,000 less than we thought. So we had savings in special ed where we didn't have to cover that transfer as much. We saved in substitute teachers to the amount of $15,000. That's another one that can fluctuate from year to year. And then Board of Education per diem stipends, and we had savings of $13,000 there. It was a trend that has happened a couple of years now. I think we covered it when John did come on the 19th, and I think there's fewer committee meetings. We have adjusted that for the next year's budget.
Yeah, a lot more new members too, so there'll be a lot more new training if they decide to go to in services or whatever.
So those savings all add up to $113,000 that we've saved on not needing those expense accounts quite as much. There were some excess revenues compared to budget. We had additional interest income of $33,500. The interest rates went up this year. TSB Bank actually continues to match our LGIP interest, so as that goes up, I'll check in with them and they'll see if they can match that interest, so that way we don't have to sit there and try and flip money back and forth. We budgeted a little lower this year because as fund balance goes down, you're obviously carrying less cash on hand, so we did drop it. But because the interest rates went up, we have excess interest this year, and we did also account for that in next year's budget. Additional open enrollment in income of $10,500. Additional special education MAC revenue relating to Fund 10 of $9,800. That's the Medicaid payments that we get, and there's a long drawn out formula, and it's basically impossible to really forecast that. Obviously, the more you spend in prior years, the more money you're going to get back. That $9,800 is actually relating to 2016, 2017 expenses, so it's really a delayed payment that ends up going into Fund 10. And then we did have sell some property at about $7,700 more than was in the budget. We don't usually set a budget to sell a lot of property, but with new furniture coming in, we kind of turn stuff around. If we have stuff in storage that's no longer needed, that has also been sold along the way. So that was $61,469 in additional revenue we received. So between that 10 or so positive outcomes, that's about $175,000 that assisted the budget. So that's how we made up for the budget deficit and the additional hires after budget approval. The second page, this is where you'll see the breakdown by function. The undifferentiated curriculum that is K through 5 instructors. We added one teacher in there post-budget, so that's why you can see we spent about $72,000 more than we had budgeted for in K-5 teachers. Regular curriculum, that's grades 6 through 12 instruction. We came in under budget by $51,900 there. The business administration, that was a lot of fiscal year expenses. It includes property services, district office staff, custodians, directors, and then maintenance. So we came in at 102% of expenses there, which is about $46,800 over. The Fund 10 to Fund 27 transfer, we only expended 96.6% of that budget, which was $40,300 less. Purchased instructional services, that is almost exclusively open enrollment out. So that's where you can see the savings where we budgeted $917,000 out, and it ended up at $896,000. School building administration, that is your principals, your associate principals, and secretaries. We are a little over budget there at 103.34% of spending. Our central services is our IT staff and any expenses relating to IT. I think there's some equipment that's in there. take a look and see, give you details on what it would be. Vocational curriculum, that's your agriculture, business ed, and tech ed. That came in at 89.57% of the budget. Co-curricular activities, that is just co-curricular activities, and that came in at under budget by $15,500. General administration is the superintendent, the district office secretary, and any school board expenses. So the per diems and stuff, some of that savings would be in there, so that's where a lot of the savings comes in that area. Physical curriculum, that's Phi-Ed, so that's at 99.08% of budget. Pupil services is guidance, nursing, and psychology. We have some savings there. We had one employee that was out for a little bit, and we didn't end up having to pay quite as much in salary and benefits. Instructional staff services, that is library and the director of instruction, and that actually came in $17,000 under budget. Insurances and judgments, that is all of our business insurance, so it was $167,897 in budget, and we ended up paying $163,496. The other support services, those are all the HRA payments for retirees and retiree health insurance benefits. So we budgeted $124,699 there, and the fiscal year ended up at $131,372. So it was $6,500 over there. Other special needs is just a small gifted talented budget of $3,000. And then that's where you'll see at the bottom the budget of $13,059,940, and we spent $13,039,521. So that's the $20,420 that we came under budget in overall expenses. Looking at it by object, that breaks it down by salaries and benefits, purchase services, non-capital objects, capital objects, insurance, and transfers. Our salaries came in about $30,000 under total budget. $6.45 million of district money is spent on salaries. The benefits is our health, dental, HRA payments, LTD insurance, and life insurance. That was $21,000 over budget, but a very minimal percentage. Purchase services, a lot of that is our 4K payments. We send per pupil payments to the 4K sites that we operate out of. It also includes legal fees, athletic payments to officials, utilities, and other maintenance costs. Non-capital objects, those are supplies and textbooks. So we're under budget by $34,000 there. Capital objects is equipment, vehicles, and then there's tech ed equipment in there that is over $44,000. We allocate $25,000 to a year to tech ed. They ended up selling some older tech ed equipment, which obviously gets recorded as revenue, but we allowed them to spend the money that they took in to just upgrade equipment. So that's why that one is over budget. They offset that by taking in some revenue. Again, there's the insurance payments, and then transfers. Those are both under budget. The other objects is dues and fees, which was about $16,000 under budget there. And I wanted to make note, we looked at this in the past, looking specifically at utility costs between all buildings. There are a total of 24 different expense accounts. The total of those 24 accounts came to almost 10% over budget. In terms of dollar overage, that is $26,665. Of that, $23,425 is an overage in electricity and heat at the high school. We believe that increase is almost exclusively referendum project related. We suspect those costs will be down in 1920, and we have a budget set up based on historical numbers, also factoring in that outlier circumstance.
Why is the belief that way?
What's that?
Why is the belief that way?
That,
I think I reported that way, and when they were doing the project, there's actually, that's about the amount was estimated for increased costs for the project itself, and we absolutely realized those. So the high school, we're heating spaces that didn't have like the proper insulation, that kind of stuff. And we are maintaining a building for those spaces for all the construction workers. So it's majorly different than right now. It's got a level control of the entire building. So we think we should be in a good position. We're gonna monitor that right out of the gate though too, to make sure. I mean, there is some additional square footage obviously at the high school with that new construction, but the whole building is all energy efficient with new equipment on it. So really, the discussion out of the gate was that should wash out. So when we talked to Ray and our construction manager, the thought was that the new equipment, the focus on energy kind of stuff that we did, should realize the savings to make up for that square footage. So we're definitely gonna have to monitor it, but that was, our belief is that it's directly related to the workload that was being done and how the building was being heated, and electricity as well. So, but the electricity didn't have as much of a up, it was the gas that really did. So it was the gas. I also think that some of the stuff wasn't operating correctly for a little while.
Right.
Like, we actually had the fire department come up to the building because there was the smell of gas, remember that? So I just think it was misfiring, things weren't working appropriately, and just that, I think some of our costs are related to that, so.
That extra money we put into the weightlifting room, did that show up anywhere in here?
Right now, it's sitting in the referendum because there was a fundraising.
It's gonna get reimbursed, we're gonna
Yeah.
keep fundraising.
I was wondering if they run
Yeah.
it through here.
If we put it in the Fund 10, it would impact our aid because of skipping over years. If we'd got all the money in the same fiscal year, it would just wash. But if we were to recognize the we would benefit this year by having the expense in there, but then next year when we, in theory, collect the rest of the money and put it in the Fund 10, we're gonna get dinged the next year. So I actually talked to DPI, they said store it in Fund 49 because the referendum is carrying over into the next fiscal year. So next spring, we'll have to see if all that money has been collected and to just wash out. Otherwise, we will have to pick it up in Fund 10.
Okay.
The last page is kind of more summation. Special education expenditures came to $1,928,593. That is up $128,000 compared to last year. However, compared to budget, it is $13,171 under budget because there was a budget increase in special education of around 5.5%. So we committed more funds to it, and we ended up not meeting quite all of it. Spending and utilization of federal grants such as flow-through assistant special education expenses coming in slightly under budget. Looking at the revenues, I note this every time I go over this report, 83% of our money comes in the form of general aid, state aid, and local property taxes. We've clearly collected all that thus far. For the year, we took in $6,353,502 in general aid and $4,336,897 in property tax revenue. This fiscal year, the district received 100.83% or $106,761 more than was budgeted in revenues in Fund 10, and 104% or $27,185 more in budgeted revenues in Fund 10 or Fund 27, and that is almost exclusively those Medicaid payments that we received that has gone to Fund 27. So that's money we're getting back for prior year's expenses. The summary, pending any final audit related entries, the district will experience a surplus of $2,220. The district's administrators and directors will take the 2018-2019 year-end numbers and compare to our tentative 2019-2020 budget and make adjustments as needed based on overages or surpluses in each individual account, also factoring all needs for the district over the coming year. A preliminary budget presentation will be given to the Board of Education at the September 16th board meeting. The plan is to present the final budget to the board in late October. I did talk to Scott that same night on the 19th about how late we go, because just as those open enrollment numbers change as you go, so do our membership numbers, and if you don't wait long enough, you can